I'm Benson and welcome to my channel. Today is not just a product review. Today is more to do with what I did with the product and how I make it better. For those of you who follow my channel and subscribe to my channel because of my laser engraver videos, thank you very much. And you've been a great support, and I've been living off the channel for a little bit now in terms of support. It comes to a point where I have tested like 6 or 7 different lasers, diode lasers, and I get to a point where I can pinpoint exactly what I want, and I can pinpoint exactly what my budget is. So hopefully I have something to share with you today which will resonate with you regarding what kind of lasers is suitable for you. Now, best for me might not be best for everyone, but at least I know this is something that I'm really passionate about. By trade, I'm a chemist, but I like to do a lot of DIY stuff. I fix stuff around the house. And within the last few years, I started to make a lot of stuff, especially useful tools that will help me out in my studio and to create content for you guys. When laser engraver first came out, it's like, okay, you know what, let's start making small stuff from it because I can't cut straight with like hand tools and stuff like that. But with a laser engraver, you can do some really pretty accurate cuts and engraving, much better than freehander I could do. So this is a part 1 of many videos to come. There's so much I want to share with you guys. There's so much I learned while I'm building the enclosure, and there's so many like little tips and tricks that I want to show you guys. At the same time, you guys get to see the laser and actions, and if you can decide if it is a good laser or not. So let's go over there where I actually keep my lasers. So here is my 2 lasers, the NEJE Max 4 here. It comes with standard 460 by 750 millimeters. So they're quite big lasers compared to my normal, let's say 400 by 400. And you will see a lot more larger format laser coming onto the market. Each of them want to outdo each other. The NEJE Max have options to go even bigger. So they come with an extension where you can, instead of a 460 millimeter axis, you can actually have a meter. So you can have like a meter by 750. In hindsight, I should go for the 1 meter, but I'm just keep thinking that I don't have enough space. Just look at the monster size of this. Now, I actually have to build my own workbench just to hold the laser on top. My dream build will be a larger format of the laser, but actually as part of my worktop. So that would be fantastic if I just lift up a worktop and that will be work. I think I've seen it on YouTube, someone done it already. So this is my NEJE Max 4, and over this side we got the LaserPecker 4. Now again, a very different machine. So the diode laser like this is very good for cutting, and I'll go into details about this machine in a minute, so you can see some of the cutting that I have done here already. But the LaserPecker 4, not the best in cutting, but in terms of precise work and metal work as well, because this one have an infrared range, which is very good for engraving. But I've done a lot of videos on the LaserPecker 4 already. If you haven't checked it out, you know, check out my channel. You can see tons of what I've done with this machine already. But the enclosure itself, they are cheaply made. When I say cheaply made, the only thing I really bought is the acrylic. They are all cut to size because I hate cutting them. And secondly, I left this label here for fun and show potential people who actually look at this. So yeah, so this is a, what do you call them, Swedish company, Flat Pack. Obviously it's not Flat Pack anymore because this is basically a table turned upside down, so you can see the legs like pointing upwards, and I just kind of enclosed it with ply. So ply sheets I have to buy, they are relatively cheap. And the rest I just reuse whatever I have. I have seen a lot of people build, and I steal idea from like some of them, and this is what I end up with. And this is a life changer for me because in the filming studio here, I can't have any smoke, and I hate smoke. With the exhaust pipe going out the window, and this is actually fantastic. I can make as much smoke as possible, and it won't affect the inside air quality. I have windows on the top and on the bottom, and this one is actually very important for me because I do a lot of cutting, and having a window on the lower side you can actually see through, and you can check when the laser is actually coming through, hitting the metal bit when it's actually cut through. The laser can do stuff which is amazingly precise that I can only ever dream of. Okay, so let's open that so we have some light. So these are the first couple of test pieces that I have done. And check out how thick the plywood cutout is. So on top I got a little engraving testing done here, power level and all that. So there will be a lot more of this video coming through. And to cut, this one actually I've done 9 passes on this. You shouldn't need to do 9 passes, but you know, this is just my testing kit. So I've done a few more cuts. But eventually you can narrow it down to the best efficient method and the setting, and I'm more than happy to share with you guys. A bit more about the enclosure. So I don't want to make it with solid piece of timber. I think this is going to be made way too heavy, because at some point I will need to move this enclosure. So I actually made a MDF frame, and then I just clad the outside with a thin piece of ply. As long as it's airtight, and it will do what I want it to do. The hinges here, because this lid is massive and they're quite heavy, so I actually have double hinge compression, kind of a soft closing thing, and it does work really well. It holds onto the lid, and when it closes, it actually airtight. I mean, for once, I believe my woodworking is improving, because all the seams kind of all even out. So about laser enclosure, a lot of people were saying like, oh, I did my enclosure, but you know, I can still see smoke in the room and I can still smell burning. Now this is the thing I learned from my chemistry or aseptic technique. So basically we have a room which is kind of a negative pressure, so nothing inside the room will get out. That kind of a concept applied to laser enclosure as well. Basically, you want negative pressure inside the cabinet. So when the extractor fan is on, it sucks air out of the box. Now, the air needs to come in from somewhere. So you can't just continue taking air out inside the box, or else it becomes vacuum. It needs to have air coming into the box. Now, the air will come from any gaps. So this enclosure here, I use silicone on all the joints, the inside joint around the windows. So the only really opening is where the gas can escape from, over there, and also here. So you can see those seams here, there's nothing, so there's nothing here to make it airtight. So you know, the air can come in through the gaps. But I also have 2 holes here, one on this side and one on this side. Now eventually I want to make something which can open and close control it, but at the moment it's working so well that I don't need to intervene or anything like that. So basically, if I turn on the extractor fan, so Alexa, turn on extractor fan.
Okay.
So now the extractor fan is on, it's pulling air from all directions into that hole. Now the air, like I said, the air needs to go somewhere. I sealed off this massive gap, but I didn't seal off the other one, because as long as you have enough pressure to create a negative pressure, then you'll be fine. What I mean is that, for example, if I close the lid, okay, imagine the laser is burning your material and you're making a lot of smoke, and you want the air to flow from towards the front to the back. If you have an air hole here, you will end up sucking all the clean air out, and the smoke will remain in the middle. So you want the air to be coming in the front right here. When I designed the box, I didn't have like air vents in the front, so I have to find a place where the fresh air can go in. And I find that the best place is still towards the front, but on the both sides. And you know you have created negative pressure when you put a piece of thin paper on top. And you can see that the paper is being sucked into the hole. Let me show you one more time. That means that the air is constantly being sucked through this hole here. Now, no matter how much smoke or how much the air assist push the smoke this way, there is enough to create a negative pressure where the smoke will never escape from the box. In this video, I won't show you too much about the installation or the technical build of the unit, because this machine has been around for more than, I think, 6 or 7 months now. So a lot of video on the internet will tell you about this laser. But I tell you a couple of things that I didn't like about this laser. So first is, you know, all the fittings regarding the cable chain. This is one of my must-have for my laser. My previous laser, they were just wire hanging around, and then they start catching onto the roller and onto the axis, and it create all sorts of problem. So NEJE Max 4 actually comes with the rail, but the installation information is useless. At the end, I have to use tie zip. I use a lot of tie zip on the chain to make it work. You can see right here, the brackets are kind of like not in the right place, but then the tie zip will actually keep it on. So this is something which I really don't like about it. And when the machine comes in, some of this cable is already installed. So when you need to put on the cable chain, you're supposed to take it off, unplug the thing, put the thing through the cable chain, and then put it in. I just cheated, so I just didn't follow the instruction just to make it work. But for that, it took me some time to figure it out. So I think instruction of installation could be better. And the other thing I didn't like is, okay, you know, this spoil board is exactly the maximum area of engraving. So the laser can actually cut all the way to this mark right here, 0, 0. But if you drop the laser beyond a certain point to engrave what is almost touching the base of your enclosure, this fan and the heat sink will hit this lip. I'm not sure if it is my installation wrong or if it's designed like that. Now I'm not going to do it so that it grind on the Z-axis, but if you can see here, the fan and the heat sink actually go beyond this lip right here. So there's another thing which I didn't like about the NEJE Max 4. Okay, so there's one more thing which I didn't like about the NEJE Max 4. Is this knob here which control the sliding of the laser module. So this, you can slide it up and down. After you do a fixing, then on light burn you can use the motor to move it up and down, but you do need to adjust this manually first to set up. And look at how much screw they give you over here. This is tiny, so for me to grip it I need to use my nails. And you try as hard as you can to try and mount it. There's so many times that, you know, after I think I adjusted it and the whole thing just lie down and hit the board. I mean, I know this is a budget laser, but you know, we shouldn't need to you know, fix all these kind of a little things. So same screw, you got a little plastic bit right at the end. This is what press against the laser module. I think that's a very good idea. It stops it from making dents and scratching the laser head module. And we have all this problem in other lasers as well. So usually just metal screw against metal, and at the end you scratch the inside of the laser module. So this one have a little plastic there, which is fantastic. So I just glued on a piece of wood, epoxy it onto the screw. Now whenever you try to glue metal to wood, they can come off easily. So I actually use a grinder and cut a slot. So basically there's a slot in there to help the glue to get a grip onto the screw. So now this is so nice and easy to screw onto. Compared to this one, you have to use your nail to bite it. This one here, you can actually turn the wheel right here. Okay, so there's enough negative about the laser. To be honest with you, there's not much going wrong with this laser, and let me talk through a few things, the rationale behind me choosing this particular laser. First of all, this one is a 20 watt output laser. So 20 watt is pretty low in today's market because they just, other company have pushed out a, let's say, a 70 watt version of the laser. They by stacking like, you know, 14 or, you know, however many different diode laser on top. But the lack of power actually compensated by the narrower dot size. So with a lot of these new lasers, they give you a lot more power, but the dot size getting bigger. So when the dot size get bigger, when you do engraving, you get lower resolution. So I quite like this one idea of having full diode like a side by side. So they keep the dot size smaller. There are two things about smaller dot size. One is you get more accurate engraving, but also the power of cutting is improved. So you got a narrower point of or condensation of the laser, so you got more power per dot to cleanly cut kind of a thick materials. And secondly, you got a motorized Z-axis. Now this one takes some time to get used to. In your head, you need to have like a calculations for thickness of the material to judge the distance, and you need to tell Lightburn. Now Lightburn have a very good function on how many passes that you need to do to cut, and between each passes you can actually need to move down a set amount. Now that I'm still learning because each piece of wood is different. For example, if one pass is cutting through, let's say 4 mil, the optimal setting will be, so each pass will reduce by 4 mil. So basically you do one pass, and then the module will move down by 4 mil because you cut 4 mil. So the next laser focus is actually at where the wood is remaining. So that gets the most efficient type of cutting. But wood is never linear, especially plywood, it got glues in between. So if you tell the laser to move by 4 milliliters every time, sometimes one pass is 4 milliliters, sometimes another pass you only cut 2 because you're cutting the glue layer. So the only way to work on that is cut at the very edge of the timber, and you can see the laser burning through like a bright red, and that dot actually is telling you where it is cutting. And with looking at that, you can judge how many passes you need and how much to change. Now, I don't think laser is advanced enough to do like the first pass by 4, the second pass by 2 because of the glue, and then the third pass, once you pass the glue, then you go by 4 again. It doesn't do that. So a lot of the time what I'm doing right now is actually watching it cut and then manually adjust the Z-axis every time. But the good thing is you don't need to touch it. So every time you touch it, you potentially introduce error. So when you finish one pass, if you touch the laser head or move the material, you might not cut at the same place again. But with the NEJE Max 4, because everything is done electronically by a Lightburn, I managed to cut these 9 passes, and it's still cutting on the same edge instead of cutting a double edge. For those who do laser a lot, you will have come across this problem before, whereas the little thing move and then it's like you have to start all over again. So the motorized Z-axis is fantastic. The X-axis is actually a linear rail. Now this is something that I dream to have with my other lasers. Basically this is a lot more accurate. Now the X-axis is where the head needs to move the most. The Y-axis is actually still by using like a roller, but that is okay because you got 2 motors on each side and you're only moving a tiny step at a time. So the margin of error is quite a lot. So you won't have a big problem. When the laser head needs to move a lot, a linear rail is a must. This one here doesn't give you that much give, so there's no wobble on the head. The only wobble is the whole machine if it is not tied down. So that's another win for having a NEJE Max 4. The Max 4 frame, they use like the Aluminium rail, but you can see this is double. And the 2 sides, or the 2 long sides, is actually an L-shaped bracket, and this is extremely strong. Just by putting in the screw at the right place, it becomes square straight away. And it comes with this pre-drill holes, which is perfect for fitting your machine onto the board. I have seen people like make brackets and draw on the board to make sure that every time the machine moves it goes back to the same place. But having these screws is fantastic. I just need 2. I have 2 on the front here, holding the front down. So I know that this machine now won't move with the enclosure. It won't move independent of the enclosure. And also I got spoil board here. This spoil board is actually double-sided. This is actually 2 pieces here. So when I finish this one, I can just flip it and then I can use it again. And you can see I already used Lightburn to burn the grid on here. This is the center point. So this is cheap building material. So they warp a lot, so that's why I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws here which actually hold it down so it's completely flat against the MDF base. The MDF is perfectly flat. If I make a mess out of this board, eventually we'll just unscrew them, flip it over, and then tie it again. I can use that. There's another piece underneath so I can effectively use it 4 times. In the future video, I will show you that I want to coat it with maybe aluminum foil so that I actually can use it to cut. But at the moment, I'm still experimenting, so hopefully in the future video, I got more to show you. When you buy the machine, it doesn't come with air assist. By air assist means that the air which goes into this tube on the side and then blow it out from the laser nodule here to stop the smoke from getting in, as well as give you a cleaner burn. As you can see here, this is the best money spent on this machine. So this is extra. So this is a relay where at the moment there's no gas going through. But with light burn, as soon as you start the project of the burn, it will open the relay so the gas will flow through. And I have a compressor on the other room, so you won't even hear it at the moment. So let me demonstrate for you, yeah? But as soon as I press the start project, so you can hear the gas rushing through, the relay open and the gas coming out. And there's lots of air blowing into where you need to burn. And don't worry guys, this is really low power, so 1%. So it's not going to cause any problem on my board. But as soon as I stop the laser, the gas stops as well. So I have this hooked up to a compressor, which I usually use 3 to 4 bar of pressure, which is a lot. But as soon as you use enough gas in the compressor kicks in, it tops it up again, and then you work again. So the good thing is that it's not always on, it's only on when you actually need them. So I never need to forget to turn it off and stuff like that. And it's not expensive. I think this one is about what, $20 odd. And it's already got a power from the motherboard. You just plug it into, I think, the M8 socket. And the air is on the other compressor. I think to buy the air assist is already like $50 or something like that. And I already put up a video recently. I got my air compressor for all my air tools for about £150 or $150. If you don't need such a 24 liters tank, you can actually get the smaller one with the same kind of an output for about $112. But anyway, $110 or £110. So this is definitely a big improvement in terms of what you can do with the machine, because with the strong pressure air, you can cut a lot cleaner, a lot faster. So the guy at Great Craft sent me some sample material for testing the laser. Couldn't come at a better time, so I have the NEJE Max 4 here, which I need to get to know the laser. All the material I have so far is those construction material. They are laserable, but they are not really designed for laser as such. So, but if you have a good technique and good laser, you can actually do some fantastic stuff with the reclaimed materials. Now I'm pretty sure in this video I can't show you everything, so like I say, this is a part 1 of my laser journey with the NEJE Max 4. So I am planning to have a lot more videos to show you guys. So in this metallic color paper box, you have a lot of materials. So this is quite heavy actually. This is quite substantial amount of material right there. Now they did say this is not the usual material that you can get, so this is a good chance for me to show you what interesting products they have. Alright, so the packaging is quite good. Everything is well protected. Okay, so the first pack we have some interesting material. Oh, they're individual pieces. So they are like scratch plastic or scratch acrylic. Lots of different colors to try. And finally, so those are hard plastic. So this one is soft. So is this like leather? So this is gold. This is silver, gold, silver. It feels like leather. There must be some coating in it. So this one is black. So I guess when you engrave, they might change color. And they are diode laser compatible, fiber laser compatible, and carbon dioxide laser compatible. So interesting material right there. And this one here is what they call scratch acrylic. And basically you can cut and also engrave on it. And when you engrave, I think they will kind of change into a different color. So I can't wait to test out these things for you guys as well. Now this is really interesting. So the appearance is silver, almost like a metallic silver, but when the laser engraved, it turns black. And that's the design of this material. So the good thing about the enclosure is that because of the negative pressure, you can actually like get close to it, inspect, and you know, you won't smell anything bad fumes because all the fumes is being extracted at the moment. But while it is still the air is still moving in that direction, it does take some time to clear whatever is inside. So definitely a good idea not to open it straight away. Oh, it did cut through. It was just holding by the back. Does it have the layer on the back? No, there's no layer on the back. So yeah, so this one is a really interesting product. This is like a mirror, finished plastic. Do have to give a bit of a cleanup. Okay, so what do you guys think? This is a really interesting material. Then this is like a scratch acrylic. So it is plastic. When you engrave it, it turns black. And it's shiny, reflective, and black on the back. So this will be a very good, like a name badge kind of thing. So the engraving power is perfect for a 20-volt laser, but the cutting part is a bit of a miss for my machine. So I do need to do some material test myself, but it's a good starting point. Okay, so yeah, again, there's some smells to it. So as soon as I open the lid, there's some smell. So I should have waited a minute or two. But anyway, I'm too impatient. Yeah, so according to setting, perfect. So this is soft leather. It does need some cleanup. You know what? I actually forgot to turn on my air assist. Halfway through the thing, it ran out of gas. It stopped making noise. Then I think, okay, what happened? Then I turn on the air assist again, so it's a bit cleaner up the top, but then get a bit messy. Let me clean this up and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so this is the cleaned up version of the leather. So this is ready to be ironed on or sewed on to a soft material. I think this is really great. So a big thank you to Great Craft, and if you guys are interested, go check out their website. Interesting material which I'm going to use for my next couple of videos for this machine, as well as my LaserPecker. Okay, so I've done a bunch of aluminium business cards engraving. Finally, I kind of get down to the setting of 4,000 millimeter per minute. And 4% power. Surprisingly, you only need 4% for making a engraving on this and coated aluminium card. And the DPI, I stick with 423, which is the dot size that NEJE Max 4 is designed for, which is 0.06. I'm not sure if the dot is actually square, because the orientation of the laser movement actually make a big difference, because at the beginning, my previous laser, I always put the card sideways, and when I do a 90-degree where the laser go up and down, that gives me the best result. But the NEJE Max 4 actually is the other way around. So I actually have to keep the card at the same orientation as before, but let the laser moving sideways, and that get rid of a lot of these bending issues that I have. I'm not sure it's because the good linear rail that they have, which eliminated problem, but I actually find that this one get the best result overall. The image itself on the screen, it looks really good because it's AI generated, but actually for laser engraving, I do need to have to edit it a little bit at the end. So I'm almost like, you know, settling down with, I think, this one right here, which is 2000 speed and 2%. And I still find the image a bit blurry at the shading area, so I do a bit of adjustment on light burn. It's very important that your image is you know, good in the first place. So I really have fun learning the laser. I think this is actually my passion about technology. And I hope you find my information useful, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel to see more of my video. Hopefully the next one will be on slate and wood engraving, or maybe glass. Haven't decided yet, but I'm keeping going to play with this machine. Even the aluminium card, I think I can still get a bit more resolution out of this particular laser. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section, and I'll try to answer it the best that I can. Or join the Facebook group where we are very active.